Hello BookTube and welcome to Tag Tuesday. Today I'm going to be doing the R tag, the latest in the continuing alphabet tag series created by Jim of Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff. R is for reading. Why do you love reading? I love reading because it opens a window to other imaginations, to worlds that I never really get a chance to encounter, and it is really just a whole lot of fun. R is for Russia. Who is your favorite Russian writer? I am woefully underread in Russian literature. So I'm going to have to go with Anna Akhmatova. She was a Russian poet of the early 20th century, whose work, limited though I've read of her work, I've quite enjoyed. I also think I read, I don't know if it was an anthology of Russian poetry or young poets, that there was a Russian poet that I quite liked, but I'm completely blanking on who he was or what anthology it was. I'm going to have to look that up eventually. Hopefully I remember, because sometimes I don't. R is for romance. What is your favorite romantic novel? I have struggled with romance as a genre. I started trying to broaden my genre readings last year, and I read a few, or tried to read a few romance novels, and I didn't get very far. So for the moment, this one's going to be a bit put back, because I don't really have an answer for this one, particularly in the genre of romance. R is for Renoir. Do you have a favorite Renoir painting? Not off the top of my head, no. And I think there is a substitution here for Rembrandt. And again, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything by Rembrandt. Although, I have to say, I'm not fond of the pastels that are brand named Rembrandt. R is for Regency. Do you have a favorite book written in the Regency period, 1811 to 1820, other than by Jane Austen? No. I'm not too familiar with that period, and I'm not necessarily all that fond of Jane Austen either, so something else I need to work on. R is for Romana Clef. Tell us about a Romana Clef or Romana Clay you like. I know he mentioned what the... So I'm completely blanking on what the genre is right now. But I think it's a novel that's... I'm completely blanking on what a Romana Clef is. So I will leave a... After I end this video, I'll look up what the definition is. Well, let me go check it now. I do have like a window open. I could go ahead and Wikipedia it. I mean, that's what Wikipedia is for. Okay. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Master of Go by Yasunari Kawabata. And to read off the first bit from the Wikipedia entry. A Romana Clay is a novel about real-life events that is overlaid with a facade of fiction. Which means it's basically highly autobiographical, highly, I guess, autofiction. in a way. Although I think autofiction might be slightly different, but and also autobiographical novel. So I would say The Master of Go by Yasunari Kawabata, in which Kawabata relates lightly fictionalized. I think the only thing that's really fictionalized is the name of the opponent. Master of Go is the story of the last match of a famed Go player. Honinbo, I think is his name. And the character in the novel is called Utake. And the real character's name is, I think, Minoru or something. Let me look that up and refresh. It's been a while since I've read Master of Go. Yeah, it's the Go Master whose last game this is Honinbo Shusai, and his opponent in real life was Minoru Kitani, and in the novel his name is Otake. It's a fantastic novel. It is brilliant. I love it. Really ought to reread it before the end of the year, I think. Yeah, I think that would definitely be my favorite roman at Clef. No, it's the web page, or the window is acting up. There we go. Okay. R is for Rustaveli, the most revered Georgian writer. Have you heard of him? No. So this last official prompt in the tag proper is a bit different. He's asking, Jim is asking us to imagine that we are isolated in a log cabin with no internet and no Kindle, or a Kindle for which only these upcoming authors' works appear. But in the cabin there are books by the following authors, beginning with R. Racine, Kathy Reichs, Anne Rice, Ayn Rankin, Ruth Rendell, Arundhati Roy, J.K. Rowling, and Salman Rushdie. Whose books would you read first and whose would you leave for last? You can also rank the authors, if you so wish, by your personal preference. So of these, and now this is in no order necessarily of whether or not these are, the first books are great or the last books are crap. Because in a way I do prefer best for last. But at the same time, hopefully by the time we get to the end of it, I'll be rescued from this damned cabin in the woods. So I would go with Arundhati Roy and Salman Rushdie because I would like to read some of their work. Both of them have been on my radar. I think I tried Arundhati Roy a few years ago, but I want to give her another go. So I would go Arundhati Roy, Salman Rushdie, Anne Rice, because I have read some of her books and quite liked them. Although whether or not I still would is up in the air. Ayn Rankin, Ruth Rendell, Kathy Reichs, I think, Racine, and then finally, and hopefully by this point, I will have been rescued, J.K. Rowling, because I have tried her and yeah, she's crap. Well, her books are crap. Or I've only read Harry Potter and yeah, you get the idea. So on to the bonus prompts. R is for robot. Do you have a favorite book about robots? Not really. I know there are quite a few science fiction novels I have that feature robots as characters, but or peasants for that matter, because robot was also the unpaid labor expected of peasants for their lords in the Habsburg Empire. But no, not off the top of my head can I think of any books about robots, the artificial intelligences, that I can think of that I particularly like. Or as for Ryan, well, except the culture. I do love the minds of the culture. So, Accession, which is very heavily by Ian Banks, which is very heavily focused on the minds. And I do love that novel, so we'll go with Accession. Or as for rhyme, do you have a favorite nursery rhyme? Sing a Song of Sixpence and Hickory Dickory Dock. And yes, absolutely, both of them are because Agatha Christie used those nursery rhymes in her novels. Pocket Full of Rye, which uses a Song of Sixpence as its sort of structural thing or inspiration, is my favorite Miss Marple novel. Not the best, it is my personal favorite. And I quite like Hickory Dickory Dock. So, and finally, R is for ranking. How would you rank the books you have read this year? Best, second best, and worst. So, I have read almost 120 books. So that's a lot, and I'm not going to rank all of them in order. So I will rank them like I'll do the two best and the worst. So the best book I've read so far this year is The 100 Years' War on Palestine by Rasheed Khalidi. It is an amazing history of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. The second best book I've read this year is, I think I'm going to go with The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. It's the beginning of a new fantasy series set in contemporary New York, in which after a certain point cities manifest as avatars and are then attacked by Lovecraftian beings. It's a really good novel. I quite enjoyed it. And it's also the first novel by N.K. Jemisin that I have really enjoyed. So that's one positive. The worst book I've read this year so far that I haven't bailed on, because I've had about 30 bails, and I don't think bails should really count. I can't think of one. I may end up having to go with a bail. Let me see here. Oh! No, I don't. Prior of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. It's a big one-volume epic fantasy, and I really did not get on with that novel at all. I just, no. So, yeah, that was the R tag by Jim of Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff. If you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged, and I will see you tomorrow with another video, hopefully, if not, definitely Thursday with some more tag videos. And of course, Friday will be weekly read. So until tomorrow, book tip, thank you. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.